I live to a degree. I am alive. Chat. Good morning to all. All right. Let's see. Um. Shit. Dashboard. Hopefully everyone's doing great today. Not what I'm looking for. Market Star Citizen first. Oh. Saying I have 2 viewers, so I wonder who those are. Hmm. Hmm. Golly, I did not get a good night's sleep last night, chat. Hmm. I mean, I'm awake, but man. All right. It's early in the morning. All right. Who's over on Kick? Dun, dun, dun. Hmm. Trying to get my head cleared. I've only been up maybe 20 minutes, chat. It's definitely an early morning. That's for sure. Nose itchy. Where to start? There's a lot of stuff to go over and talk about the last couple of days. Definitely Star Citizen and Elite Wise. The big mystery going on right now in Elite. Huge mystery. A missing exobiologist. If you follow the trail, right now you can earn goodies and, if you got a capable enough ship, because for some people it may be on the opposite side of the bubble for Elite. For me, I had to travel upwards of 500 light years. So it was quite the journey to get to the bubble, get out of the bubble. Yeah. It was interesting. I'll put it that way. Okay. I'm going to have to. Excuse me. I'm going to have to wet myself here. Yeah, I've gotten to the point where you've figured out that the destination is a region lock system, which, as you know, in Elite, that can get pretty tiresome. There's so many region locked areas in Elite that I wish they'd just go ahead and open it up to the rest of the galaxy. Instead of just saying, oh yeah, by the way, this is locked. You can't even, explore this region of the galaxy at all. Kind of dumb when you think about it. Sure, a lot of people feel that way. That Elite needs to quit doing the whole let's stick stuff behind region locks, because folks are kind of getting tired of it this late in Elite's existence. I mean, there are so many region locked systems, it's not even funny. There are entire quadrants of the Elite Galaxy you can't even explore. It's so dumb. Hmm. But yeah, you can earn a couple of paints from basically doing just detective work, hunting down where the biologist trail went. Apparently, they're on the run from some party or group that doesn't want them to be spilling the beans about something. I won't say anything else because obviously you need to find this out for yourself. It'd be like that. Because I think it's more fun for people to figure out, oh, it's awesome to do this stuff, right? Good morning over on YouTube. How we doing this morning? My name is Axis0096. Trying to get back into the swing of streaming a bit. Definitely been an adjustment going back to school, in addition to being a streamer. 40. I'm an old man, guys. You'll have to forgive me. I don't look old. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you will be like, he doesn't look 40. I probably look 20 to a lot of you. Nope. Sadly, I wish I was 20 again. That would be a nice wish. Yeah, can I please have the anti-aging serum, please? It do be like that, chat. It do be like that. I'm sure there's a lot of people in chat that wish they could go back to their 20s. Maybe not the immaturity, but probably the youth and, yeah. Feeling a lot younger than we are. Mm-hmm. Oh. Since I'm just bullshitting right now, I'm going to put on my background. There we go. Extra spicy background. Right? Just so chat knows, this is my fiery, extra spicy background. Extra spicy, which is always good. Still trying to get my marbles together. It is early where I live. It's about 7:40 in the morning. I'm gonna try to keep this stream going all day if I can. Maybe take a lunch break, but this might be one of my longest streams ever, if I can. We'll see. It'd be fun. All right. All right. Yeah. All right. My chair is creaking and groaning. Okay, so just so people know, for CitizenCon, it starts at UTC 1900 and goes to UTC 2200. It's kind of a bummer, but yeah, it's going to be short this year. Only 2 hours. Man, I am super tired. Shit. So, how's everybody over on Rumbleland today? And everywhere else? Hold on. You still don't even. Man. Wow. Talk about being barely awake, chat. Ooh. I'm literally trying to get my marbles straight here. All right. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try and invite somebody in here to break up the monotony. All right. All right. See if I can get somebody to join me for a bit. I'm at least trying that, chat. Mm. 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 Man, it's dead quiet this morning. All right. All right. Definitely kind of a slow morning, but I'm not giving up. It'll be fine. Okay. I am dead to rights tired, chat. Ugh. Hmm. You know, it's funny. We are about a month out from SitCon. It's hard to believe. But yeah, we're about a month and a half out, about a month and a day out from CitizenCon. I just find it hilarious. It's so far out, and yet Let's do some music until I figure out what I want to do. Hmm. Hmm. Is it 2954? Or was it the year before? Yeah. Plenty of channels do this, so I don't know why it wouldn't be on. Yeah. There we go. Who? Okay. Still a good video, even a year on. And people can complain to me about using filler, but I like using this as kind of a reminder of where we've been and where we're going. This is now the main intro screen for the Persistent Universe, as people know. Yep. When did this come out? There's a ship that needs some love. Poor old Carrick. Oh. Okay. It's kind of hard to believe in this trailer we've gotten most of everything they've shown now. Hard to believe, except for the base building and homestead, which is understandable. It is interesting that we've gotten most of this, except for the homesteading, which I totally understand why, because it's part of base building, among other things, possibly engineering. So at least most of this little preview is done and in the game. Most of it. I don't know if the ground fog is or not. Maybe somebody in chat can clarify. The storm whales walls as well, obviously. Wow. 4 people watching over on YouTube. Who we got over there this morning? And good morning over there. I think there's only a few things from this trailer now that are not in the game. Most of them are pretty small things, like, for instance, the storm walls, which are still not in game. But we are getting flora and fauna in the game, so that's kind of a really does it matter kind of thing. You know? It's like that, right? Does it really matter? I mean, it's like... All right. Now, since this has come in the game, Pyro, a lot of things have changed. We've now moved to 4.0. There's been so many changes and adjustments. I mean, there's stuff in that is out now that's even more... than when this trailer released years ago. Isn't that crazy, chat? I mean, Pyro's almost 2 years old now. Almost. Do we have tattoos in game? I don't know. I don't think we do have tattoos yet. Now, I could be wrong. Yep. She cannot handle more, Captain. Yep. Yep. That's the amazing thing, chat. Most of this is in game now. Most of this still is. The original version had this dude bleeding. So I wish they'd bring back the blood, please. Thank you. Oops. Hmm. Yeah, it's just funny to me, you know. So doing basically a review at the moment.
The system.
We know we have Pyro.
Hello everyone, wonderful to see you all. Thank you for coming out. Did you guys see that worm? Really cool. All right. So right now, it's all hands on deck to make 4.0 the best experience for you. Richer locations, deeper gameplay, better experiences. All with completely new and wonderful music from Pedro, which will create an evocative and emotional backdrop.
Sure.
Rich and I have been working directly with Pedro for many months now. Beautiful music awaits. But today, I'm going to talk to you about what's beyond Pyro. So let's strap in and we'll take a look. My name's Ian. I'm the creative director for Star Citizen. And let's start by looking up into the stars and saying hello to an old friend.
Please let this be out sometime in the next 18 months. I want to go home to Nyx. So badly. Chat. There it is. The Glacium Ring. Well, the Glacium Ring. I know it's wishful thinking, but I want to come back here. Hold on a minute, Chad. I gotta check something.
Awesome. All right. So this is Nyx system. Nyx was discovered in 2582 by Carla Larry during the height of the newly formed United Empire of Earth's territorial expansion. Its most defining feature, and the source of its name, is the sprawling black dust cloud that occupies most of the system. The dust cloud severely hampers visibility and can interfere with your ship's scanners. This system does, however, border with Vanduul space.
Yeah. Checking on a
So,
family member.
visitors are being advised there are Vanduul raiding parties hitting locations throughout the system.
Sorry.
But despite this, a small community has formed in the system, and this is on an asteroid in the belt between Nyx 2 and Nyx 3. And this asteroid is called Delamar.
Send me home, chat. Send me home.
And here it is, hidden deep in the Glacium Ring.
Glacium Ring.
But actually, Delamar should be, and now is, an actual asteroid. And as it's an asteroid, the space is a zero G location, giving a unique identity for a landing zone. So let's take a closer look at the main POI on Delamar.
Yeah. Oh, there it is, my beloved Levski. Hey, what's going on? Hey, man, let me ask you something. You waiting for home? You were ready to go back to Levski, my friend? Comanche? Because, dude, I'm ready to go. No, I haven't seen that at all. Hey, have you seen the news about Verdict?
So, for
Streamer
all that
unlocking single
remember,
player streamer?
it's
No,
awesome to
server,
be able to say,
no.
welcome back.
No, I have not. The heck? Levski
new
needs to
players,
return. I hate to
let me
say
tell you
it.
why
A
it's
lot
called
of community goodwill
This used to
would
be
be
an old mining
returned with
facility,
this
which
coming
was
back in the
mothballed
game.
and then abandoned.
A lot of it. Tell me
There was
I'm
an
wrong.
internal network of
Tell me
abandoned
I'm
tunnels
wrong.
and mine shafts, and
A
these
lot
are
of the-
now populated with refugees, fugitives.
Thank you
and
for the
criminals.
follow.
This is also the home to the People's Alliance, who you'll be doing some work for. And as Levski
That's
was made
spooky,
some time back,
Comanche.
it needed to be updated.
No one
so
can
that
even
it
join
fit
them?
into current gameplay features and
Wow.
systems and mission loops.
Crazy.
So let's take a look at the first update, and that is to the hangars and landing services.
No one can even join him. That's kind of odd. Maybe he got locked into the server? Oh, I bet it is. I bet it is. It's been a while since I've seen you, Comanche. It's good to see you again.
Release the Kraken!
Soon, chat. Soon. The Kraken comes for all.
All right.
And very soon.
So Levski is still perched over the borehole, but now has a suite of hangars that are arrayed.
I agree with that dude in the chat. Release the Kraken. Very soon. Very soon.
This is to meet the ever-expanding players per server.
Yeah, no worries.
Remove hangar wait times.
You agree, don't you? The Kraken will be soon, very soon. They're talking about it, literally in what is it?
Don't want to store their ship.
The
Docking services
monthly
will be
report.
added
It's
high
being
above
worked
cliff
on. It's not a pipe
Now,
dream.
other than
The
hangars
Kraken
and
is
docking
coming.
services, there are other ways to enter the location, which are also getting new updates. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Awesome. So around the main entrance, there's still gravity plating for on-foot access. And these will lead to open landing pads for quick drop-off and pickup.
The thing is,
And
this
we're
is
also
no
adding
longer
access to
just.
gameplay areas for a variety of
This is
local
no
missions
longer
and
just
gameplay
a
types.
pipe dream.
And as you saw
This
in
is
the
being
video, there will
actively
be
worked
banks
on.
of
Yeah.
exterior freight elevators. These can be used for quicker gameplay loops without requiring hangar services. Now, as this is a zero-G location, it also gives an opportunity for another type of specialist freight services. Let's take a look.
Bulk. Yeah. Ooh. Oh boy. Yeah. It's a whole sea. And now, according to the monthly report, we're getting the B pretty soon as well. Which I don't think anybody really needs anything bigger than that. The whole B's big enough, you know, it's a pretty big ship.
All right. So first off, now the borehole goes all the way through the asteroid, which is awesome to fly through. And down at the base of the asteroid, there will be banks of exterior zero-G freight elevators. These will be priority access for Hull Series ships. So for all the Hull Series folks, we got you covered. The same functionality is also coming to space stations in both Stanton and Pyro.
Yeah, that needs to happen soon.
But wait, there's a little bit more. Let's take a look. All right, cool. So, the external freight elevators will now have direct access to cargo decks to be able to quickly sell or pick up for the next run. So that concludes some of the exterior updates coming to Levski. But the interior is also getting some updates to bring them in line with current gameplay requirements. These will be spaces like cargo services, as we just saw, for hauling and supplies, and refinement centers, so you don't need to travel far to refine your ore. And we're updating the interior layout to provide better access to gameplay spaces. So to conclude, Nyx system will be the next system after Pyro. Yay! Delamar is now a physical asteroid with a
Right.
zero-G play space. All right, not so much. And we're updating Nevsky to fit current gameplay mechanics and gameplay loops. And most importantly, we're adding local areas for gameplay content.
That's kind of already coming into the game. Now, what he just said, local stuff,
Speaking of
yeah, that's
gameplay and
kind of
landing
coming
zones,
into the game
let's
with the
leave
next
Nevsky
patch.
for now. Let's
So,
jump to Raymond Arcop, which is missing the most gameplay spaces right now. So we're continuing the Building Interior initiative. We're adding additional districts to landing zones, which are gameplay focused. These gameplay areas will interweave with the landing zone, but ultimately will be independent. So for Area 18, let me introduce you to the Municipal Works. And this will be split into two locations. The actual Municipal Works, which will be an open world sandbox area for all players, and the lower Municipal Works, known locally as the Depths, which will comprise of several instanced levels. So, how do I get to the Municipal Works? The Municipal Works is accessible in multiple places in Area 18. Some will be available to everyone, and some you'll need to unlock with mission progression.
which I'm okay with.
As an example, here's a map of Area 18 Central. And as I said, there'll be various access points throughout the landing zone, and some will be easier to access than others. These access points will lead to transit systems, taking you deep into the underbelly, eventually reaching the Municipal Works. And the Municipal Works will have spaces like maintenance, filtration, and the sewer network, which is what we're seeing here. It's a very exotic place.
Exotic, he says.
So down here, it's an open world sandbox for you and other players, very similar to contested zones in pyro stations.
He says very
Area to do
exotic.
local missions,
He means
like
smelly
exploration, repair,
and
or
stinky.
even pest control.
Ew.
But the main purpose is provide access to the depths. And these will be instanced areas. So, what is an instance area? Well, an instance area works in the same way as an instanced hangar.
Hey,
And
RGB
as the name
Stick,
says,
what's up,
it's a
man?
separate space for you and your group. But why do we want to do this?
What up, what up, what up?
This gives us the ability to create tailored missions that will provide a mixture of content like combat or exploration or puzzle gameplay, and fundamentally allows us to design challenging, meaningful content.
I'm basically doing a review of things we have, things we might get, things we probably won't see this year.
All right. So let me
So,
illustrate.
yeah. I'm hoping we see some
depths
form
will be split
of the
by levels.
municipal works. Maybe not the depths,
Stay with
you
me,
know.
we're gonna rattle
The
through it.
depths are a
So
bit
let's say
too
You're in level
out there.
B01. You're running a mission, you're having a great time with the curated content I just mentioned. But down here, you'll have to do a variety of content over a period of time and over multiple play sessions. At the end of the mission, you'll find an access point, which will bring you back to the landing zone. And you'll do this loop multiple times with different mission content. After achieving the required amount of progression, your access level will be upgraded. So this time, you head down the access point elevator, and now it takes you all the way down to level B02, and you continue on with your journey. Now this is your new area with different mission content, new rewards, and a new access point back to the LZ. The same as B01, you'll do this loop multiple times. And you guessed it, eventually you'll get access to level B03, and we continue deeper. With each level you unlock, you access new areas for new mission loops. You'll access new, more challenging curated content and access better and better rewards. And this is what will form progression-based content.
Yay. Lots of woohoos, but not a lot of excitement.
So as I just described, was a very condensed version of an actual play sessions. But this still describes the unique gameplay experience.
Okay. I need to
Landing
quit
zone
shifting
areas
around.
which will offer long-term gameplay progression. So that concludes this section on gameplay spaces for Landing Zone. We're excited to show you more. All right. So we're going to head away from ArcCorp for now. Let's look again into the stars. And now we're going to talk about solar systems. All right. Stanton system was the primary system in the game. It serves as a lawful system. It's protected by the UEE and will continue to be evolved and updated as we balance it with other systems.
Oh, goodness.
Then we have Pyro system, which we've spoken about at length, and this will serve as the primary unlawful system and is the perfect contrast to Stanton. Then, as we just saw, we have Nyx system. It's not a totally unsafe system like Pyro, but it depends on where you go, as it borders Vandal space. See that little bit of red? That's Vandal space right there. And the UEE does not protect this system. But we've got a little bit of space there, haven't we? All right. I thought you were saying click system then. I'm like, well, I'm not sure about that one. All right. But we've got a bit of room at the bottom. So it would be a shame not to fill it in with something, right? So if we get a big cheer, we'll reveal the system. You ready?
Redacted.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Here it is. Oh, wait.
Ooh.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So, let's take a sneak peek at system number 4. Here it is. Well, it's awesome, right? All right. No, in order to reveal the 4th system, let me take you on a little history lesson. And to do that, we're going to load up our old friend, the Galactopedia. So, we're back in the height of the human-Xi'an Cold War. Tensions were at breaking point. In 2542, Armistead Perry introduced a designation line for a group of 8 planetary systems that marked the borderlands between Xi'an and human-controlled space. The United Planets of Earth designated the systems as no-fly zones and utilizing them as military staging grounds. But one system on the Perry line offered a key strategic position for a potential invasion into the Xi'an Empire. And that system was Castra.
Castra.
But luckily for us, war was averted, the Perryline Pact was signed, which was a peace treaty between the now UEE and the Xi'an Empire, so the Cold War ended. The systems of the Periline were divided up between humans and Xi'an. And fast forward back to present day, humans and the Xi'an enjoy a more prosperous relations. And everyone's cool. So, the fourth system will be Castra. History lesson's over, so let's jump in and find out a little bit more. First we have Castra 1. Here it is. Castra 1 is a dead, coreless planet
Bullseye!
because it's too close to the sun to be terraformed for human habitation. So instead, the UEE Navy used Castra 1 for target practice, giving it the nickname of Bullseye. All the weapon testing throughout the Mesa era has left Bullseye covered in craters. And as you can see, it's super toxic, meaning ground exploration will require high-end environment suits. And as you saw in the weather demo, raging storms will create difficulty of access, giving risk and rewards for adventurers seeking unique minables and other items. Okay. Then we have Castra 2. The second planet from the sun is called Cascom. And this was the location of the military's staging area. Since the system was opened up to non-military settlement, it has since become a center of trade and tourism.
Yep.
But is still considered an Earth-centric traditionalist system, which prizes citizenship above all else. Let's head down to the surface and check it out. Breaking through the clouds, you'll find a landscape full of Great Lakes and lush crimson forests. And as you saw in the CTG presentation, you can see how we're going to make these worlds with the new technology. High up on the mountain range, here at the highest peak, we can just make out the landing zone called Sherman. Which is fondly known by its residents as the island in the sky.
Yeah.
Sherman is currently in pre-production, but I wanted to take the opportunity to show at least a sneak peek. Let's take a look.
Castro's looking good. I don't think it's
Awesome.
going to be very
Let
long
me take
after
you through
or
some of the areas of Sherman you just saw. The dominant landmark you see in the center is Spaceport Ulysses,
Yep.
named after the mountain Sherman is sitting on. This is where they staged the bombers that were on active rotation, waiting on any sign of any aggression. But now it's mostly a commercial spaceport. The Navy still has an air base here, but it's a great place to see some big ships of the UEE. Commercial hangars are located inside the main trench. And even though this is a converted from a naval base, it still has an impressive military flavor. And speaking of military flavor, the original AOV-9's anti-orbital cannons are still present around the defensive walls, with most of them being decommissioned once it became a civilian city. Over to the left of the spaceport is the Sparrows Industrial Park, home to the sprawling cargo yards and manufacturing plants. The Sparrows has evolved from its days as a military supply and munitions depot into a bustling and modern industrial park. To the right side of the spaceport is Fort Riggs, which originally used to house the Army when Sherman was used as a staging point for a potential ground assault of the Xi'an Empire. Since the area was decommissioned, it has now been turned into a business park and is the governmental center of CASCOM, with the Governor's Council headquarters located here. As this base was built during the Mesa era, as humans were expanding their borders, this introduces a new architectural style for humans. Between the First Travarian War on one front and the Xi'an Cold War on the other, a new style called Henoism arose, with an emphasis on prefabrication and fortification. The designs were robust, durable against warfare and harsh enemies and harsh environments. And from all the locations we just saw, high up on the upper wall, you can see the commercial district, and specifically the Ansel shopping complex. Situated high above the sprawling main base below, the Ansel area originally served
I'll be
as
right
the
back,
command center
chat.
to Sherman's military operations.
Be right back.
Inside this building, you'll find key areas like the Edge of Oblivion Bar, which was converted from the old officers' lounge. You'll also find Eckhart Security Headquarters, and you'll find the Mercenary Guild headquarters. The other areas in the commercial district include the OPA towers for habitation. That's the building on the left. And on the right, it's the Imperial Sherman Infirmary. There's also the Reeves Military Museum, where you can experience the history of humanity's military and the role that Castra has played in keeping the Empire safe. And finally, we have Overlook Point, which is the name of the vantage point and park situated in front of Central Command, which has the best view overlooking the landing zone. So that's a quick overview of some of the key areas of Sherman. I think it's devastatingly beautiful, with a rich history and unique mood and vibe. Awesome. So before I go, I want to thank you all. You are all awesome. All your passion, all your dedication make our lives as devs so much easier. And thanks to the CIG staff, who's do awesome work we're seeing in front of you. So thanks again. You are all amazing, passionate, and enabling us to dream big. Enjoy the rest of your show.
Yep, I'm coming back. Oh, that was bad timing. Yeah, bad timing. I'm back, chat. Okay. All right. Mmm. Dress to Kill segment, which of course we've gotten several armors from this year alone. Hopefully
So
we'll
my name is
get
Nick
more.
Pearce, like Joe mentioned. It's my second CitizenCon, but it's my first time presenting, so I'm very excited to be here. And just on behalf of myself and the team, thank you so much for coming to this presentation. Thank you. With that said, I'm here to talk to you about an initiative that was first introduced right here at CitizenCon in 2019, and that's adding distinct purpose and specializations to armor and clothing in our game. So let's get started. So, Star Citizen is a game about almost everything where you can do almost anything, with so many different options of gameplay, whether that be mining, piloting, FPS combat, or even a captain of industry. Unlike other traditional MMOs, we don't impose rules or classes onto the player. In real life, people are not just one thing. I'm sure you can all relate. I've had many different jobs. I've not always been a game designer. In fact, it was only a week ago that I found out that Jared used to do tech support for prosthetic legs. It's true. You can ask him. That said, if you're like me, you like to excel at whatever you're doing. So that brings us on to the concept of specializations. This is about bringing more purpose, more considerations, and more decisions to armor and clothing you wear beyond just looking cool. So, what are they? Specializations are the focus of your current daily adventure. That could be a daring racing, a cargo hauler, or a first responder. Specializations are a series of attributes assigned to each piece of clothing and armor in the verse to allow you to make informed decisions on both how you want to look and how you want to perform. What are they not? Specializations are not assigned classes. There's no magic toggle where suddenly you're forced into a role like a cleric or a wizard or even a pizza delivery person. They also do not limit you. You can still do almost everything in any armor and clothing you want. You just won't do it as well as you could have if you had specialized. Why are these necessary? Well, specializations enhance gameplay depth. They add a level of roleplay and immersion. Specializations can provide a sense of ownership of your playstyle. At its core, SC is driven by choice, with specializations offering a deeper layer of player options. And that's the option to excel, to fool around, to min-max, or give yourself a unique challenge. Specialization allows us as developers to make gameplay experiences that are deeper and more complex. So whether you're a salvager, a bounty hunter, or a medic, there will be specialized suits that will help outperform your peers. So at this point, you may be asking yourself, okay, well, how do I specialize?
All right.
It starts by determining your playstyle.
Righty. I'm back.
Are you going to be a trader, a smuggler, an assassin? Is there a void in your organization that needs filling? This is a decision you get to make and remake every single time you log in. Or, if you're like me, perhaps several times in a single play session. Once you know what you want to do, it's time to start hunting for the right gear. Specialized items are not intended to be found in any old store. You're going to have to do the legwork. You'll have to align with some of those guilds and factions that JJ and Benoit just talked about in the previous presentation. You'll have to explore the galaxy, find hidden stashes, and rare opportunities for better gear. Specialized items are meant for those who are willing to put in the work to exceed at your role.
Yep.
And once you've done all that, it's about selecting the right combination of armor and clothing. Yes, I said it. Mixing clothing and armor is built into the very fabric of this new system. Can I get a hell yeah? All right. All right. I know you guys have wanted this for a long time, so yeah, great. And to tell you even more about this new system that we do called Starware, please welcome to the stage lead character technical artist, Armando Lira. Oh, shit, bro.
Thank you so much, Nick. Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here presenting for the first time. How cool are specializations? We are sure you'll enjoy finding the best combinations for your playstyle. And for that, we had to create a system that gave you all the freedom that you deserve. It's something that I am sure you've all been waiting for so long. Starware. So if you're, are you tired of choosing between clothing or armor? Yeah. So finally, you'll be able to mix and match. Starware is fashion that meets purpose. As specializations provide you with a multitude of stats to combine, you'll also be able to choose the visual style that you want. But beware, with added options also comes the responsibility of choosing the right combination for the right situation. Let's look at some of the possibilities that Starware will be able to provide you. As you all saw, the possibilities are huge. Like, have you ever wanted to put on a jacket on top of an undersuit? Yes. Yeah. How about an armor on top of a sleeveless shirt? Or even without no shirt at all? Like backpacks on clothing? Yeah. So Starware allows more customization than ever. But be careful, certain gameplay implications will still be true. You won't be able to go into the vacuum of space without a space-worthy undersuit and helmet. And in certain planets, you'll need a breathable mask or helmet to survive. I hope you guys are excited about this as much as we are. And we've heard what you all want, and we're making a system to bring it all to you. But that is enough about Starware for now. Let's go back with Nick and learn more about how Starware and specializations will improve your gameplay.
Well done, bro. All right. Thank you, Armando. Some nice dancing as well, by the way. So as you can see, the Starware system is about adding function to fashion. We are still Star Citizen, one of the best looking video games out there, but we're always going to make sure that you look your best, but now with added purpose. So to recap, we're going to go through adding intent and purpose to all our clothing and armor sets. As designers, we really want the visuals to match the stats that our great character art team have made. So for example, if a pair of pants look particularly armored, chances are they'll have modest damage mitigation to match. Many armors will be specialized for distinct use cases. Currently, we realize right now bigger is generally better when it comes to FPS armor, and we know that shouldn't always necessarily be the case. There will be some armors that won't have EVA thrusters built into the suit, so you lose EVA capability. Some armors won't even be space-worthy. Specializations means getting better at certain things at the cost of attributes and others. This is about compelling you, the player, to make tactical decisions for every situation you may find yourself in. So now let's look at some practical use cases for the Starware system. Whilst all our armors are becoming specialized, let's take a look at a select few, which I will add are some of my favorites. We are going to assemble a team to tackle one of Star Citizen's most anticipated adversaries that you'll get to meet later on. Let's meet our first specialization. right. All right, so we have our leader. Let's get into it. So the player's choice of clothing will be crucial in a way it hasn't been before. With magnetic plates built into many clothing items, players can now holster both primary and secondary weapons. However, in the near future, there will be locations in SC where armor and weapons are strictly prohibited. Clothing allows the player the opportunity to access these restricted areas without needing to change. And some clothing will even allow the player to conceal smaller weapons from security, should the need arise. Another new addition we're going to be introducing is flight penalties based on the mass and size of your armor and clothing. You'll still be able to fly in medium and heavy armor, but you're restricting the precision of your control. If you're in clothes like our leader is here, or a flight suit or light armor, you'll be able to fly unrestricted. Now, if we look at an overview, we've cherry-picked 6 generalized stats to give you like a high-level understanding of how various clothing and armors we specialized. This is by no means a comprehensive list of everything we have available to us. It's just a little, yeah. So here you can see the leader has low protection compared to a full suit of armor and no EVA capability for obvious reasons, but has great movement, low emissions, allowing them to blend into bustling cities and stations. The leader really excels at freedom of movement here. Let's meet our next members. Okay. So here we have our pilot. If you remember, back in 3.23, we introduced our first specialized helmet visor, the combat visor. This introduced the dynamic crosshair and all the magazine information on your HUD. This is our pilot visor, which allows the wearer to link with their ship and cast MFDs directly into their visor. This provides the pilot with all the essential data like ship health and shields, so no longer will the pilot need to break concentration during an intense situation to look down at their MFDs. Again, like the leader in this situation, there'll be no penalties to flight, plus with added G-force resistance, the wearer will be able to get the most from out of their ship. So if we look at the pilot stats, they have fantastic mobility. Like I mentioned, great G-force resistance for when combat takes them to the limit of human endurance. And finally, this suit comes with the best EVA capability in its class for when remaining in your ship is no longer an option. Here's another variant in our flight suit class, the racing flight suit. This is what our driver will be wearing. This suit, unlike the pilot flight suit, has features which are more streamlined, which allows it to have truly unmatched G-force resistance for the hardest corners on the most challenging of racetracks. It also offers great oxygen capacity and thermal protection for those planets with hostile environments. So as you can see, this flight suit excels at G-force resistance, but it loses its protection and has much weaker EVA capability. Let's meet our next team members.
Hunter armor. Hank.
Okay. Here's our tank, who is wearing our heavy combat armor. Combat armor is similar to what you're used to, only we're specializing it even more for combat. So what does this mean? We want our wearers of heavy combat armor to feel like walking tanks. The armor should provide fantastic coverage to limit any weak points they may have, and actually have a greater damage mitigation than what players are currently used to. Due to its mass, The armor will also feature the strongest resistance to force reactions, so that's flinch, stagger, and knockdowns, which brings me on to a full suit feature. If the player is wearing a full set of heavy combat armor, they will not be able to be knocked down by small arms fire. Thank you. However, as you can see here, for all that protection, coverage, and stability, we have some major trade-offs. You're going to lose your mobility, stamina will run out much quicker, and your movement speed is severely reduced. The majority of combat armors will also lose built-in EVA thrusters, meaning you're going to have to add additional weight to be wearing an EVA pack. Next up, we have our tracker in the Heavy Hunter armor. This is another suit in our heavy armor class. However, this one is aimed less at pure combat and more about hunting its prey. This is all the armor for you bounty hunters out there. The Heavy Hunter armor has the most powerful active scan for hunting their targets. Its scanner outshines all others in locating infrared and electromagnetic emissions, perfect for locating those targets trying to lay low, whether that be human or creature alike. Whilst it's still classed as heavy armor, it does mix things up, so it'll have slightly faster movement and mobility, but it loses the protection. You'll also be able to store more devices like deployables and throwables. So to compare the stats, whilst not as tough as our combat armor, it does gain an increase in mobility, and while its scanner is the best of the best, the armor is also incredibly noisy and emits powerful emissions. So while you may find your target with ease, there's a good chance that they'll know you're coming for them. Next up, let's look at our last additions to the team.
Hi, bro. Then that friend.
All right. I can tell who the fan favorite is there, yeah. So we have our sniper, who is wearing our light stealth armor. Here's another example of a full suit feature. If the wearer
And there it is, the Geiststormer chap.
has all pieces equipped, so that's helmet, core, arms, and legs. Due to its mass and the suit's material, their missions will run so low that they will be undetectable on radar. With it being light armor, it also has a great level of mobility and traversal speeds, meaning should the wearer be spotted, they can quickly escape or reposition with ease. And remember, with it being light armor, no flight restrictions. So with the best stealth and fantastic speed, it's a must for any players looking to assassinate, infiltrate, or in this case, be a sniper. However, the protection provided is minimal. You don't want to be engaging in a full-on firefight in this suit. And just to reiterate, folks, as well, like great specialized armors like this one and all the ones that you've seen today, you're going to have to put the work in to have these at your disposal. And finally, surround our group, we have that one friend. We've all played MMOs, right? We all know that one friend. That friend's me.
Yeah, we do.
They ignore all the rules and the strategy. They can only play for 30 minutes a week. They might prefer a bit of glint on their sniper scopes. Who knows? Well, here at CIG, we also support that friend, so they're on the roster too. So, we have our group. What do you guys think? Were you fun? All right, all right.
Can we lose that friend, please? Seriously. This dude, he's like a walking embarrassment.
So let's see what they face ahead and if they're up for the challenge. And to talk to you about that challenge, please welcome to the stage Senior System Designer Zach Priest. You've been great. Thank you.
Oh, luckily this thing's only got 2 buttons. So, hello, I'm Zach Priest. I do a variety of things at CIG, but thank you, the people at the front. I do a variety of things at I do a variety of things at CIG, but I'm mostly designing.
You burn things to the floor, ground?
So most of you be wondering, what could the next part of the presentation be about? Well, let's get stuck in. Star Citizen at its heart is about community. From our relationship with players to the big dynamic events that citizens work together to complete. We love group content and missions that allow players to work together to achieve a goal. But for our group specifically, you do have to wonder, well, now our crew is assembled, and in a universe as big as Star Citizen, who knows what trouble they could run into. So let's find out what they're going to face. Now, they're heading to the planet Monarchs, which is in the Pyro system. So without further ado, let's find out what they're up to.
Yes! The worm! Run away! Mondo worm. Yeah. Oops.
Health without needing any. To be fair, people who put in a lot of Oh, that was cathartic. Absolute cinema as far as I'm concerned. The teams at CIG have worked so incredibly hard to get to the point where what we just showed you was no tricks, no hacks, just gameplay of the Valakar. I love you too, Groncy. I want to give a huge thank you to all the people who put in a lot of work to get to the point where what we just showed you is gameplay. As you can imagine, all of that.
Oh, my
We have
goodness.
some good polishing to do on it, and we didn't want to hold it off. We just wanted to give you an honest view of where we are. That was from a build last week, so. With that said, monster hunting is coming to Star Citizen. And the best
Hopefully
part
it won't be
was
the
starting off
last.
this epic series of fights with the infamous Valakar, who some of you may remember from 2016. This absolute monster of a creature is 300 meters long and sees your light fighters just as puny little ants. You're going to need to assemble your quickest and most nimble pilots to dodge the Valakar's ranged attacks, as well as your fastest drivers to bait out the Valakar from the surface, as it's the only way to bring this mighty creature out of the ground is by disturbing the surface with a ground vehicle. But how does the Valakar stack up to our crew? Well, unfortunately, the Valakar stats don't really fit on the screen due to being so powerful. But for some context, it's around 150 times harder to kill than an Aegis Avenger Titan. But to be fair, it's most likely to kill you. So how does it do that? Well, the deadly Valakar has a variety of ways of killing possible threats. So for a high-level overview of the fight, it regurgitates rock-hard sand that has been compressed inside the Valakar and uses it as a projectile to target foes. But if something's a bit too close for comfort in the sky, it uses its ginormous body to swipe ships out the way. Anything on the ground that it sees as a threat will have to contend with its bite or its deadly slam. So, little bit fun bit of information. As the Valakar becomes more injured, it will retreat back into the planet's surface, and you'll need to make sure that your ground vehicles stay alive or have backups to bait out the creature again, as well as keeping it interested. So, the big question, in a game like ours, how are we going to communicate the health of this creature? Well, things being physicalized is at the heart of Star Citizen, and we know how much of a large fight the Apex Valakar is, and we need to communicate that in a diegetic way. So you'll see here the Valakar's health from 100% to 1%. You'll see its skin getting more battered and bruised as the fight progresses, to give you an idea of where you are and how close you are. So the nice thing about this, it communicates the Valakar's health without needing any UI or health bars. It just purely keeps you immersed in the experience. So, number one question, why do you want to kill the Valakar? Well, because it's fun, but I know you sweaty gamers, so it's got loot, also known as harvestables. The Valakar has two very valuable harvestables. Firstly are its pearls. You'll need to mine growths on a variety of locations of Valakar to reveal these pearls. And once you've destroyed the growth skin, you'll see disgusting squidgy innards. But next is its big apex teeth. These are within its mouth, and you'll need a very strong tractor beam to be able to yank these things out. And these harvestables will not all come out at the same quality. So You'll be able to learn more about that and how Harvestable is going to be used tomorrow in crafting your home. So a fun thing here is you'll see the character is standing within the Valakar's mouth as well. So when it dies, it keeps its collision, meaning that you can climb on it, land ships on it, and it's essentially your playground. But
Yeah.
this really shows how big it is. But how big is it really? Well, fun bit of information. When we first made the collision for this model, Star Engine actually gave us an error saying, like, no living thing needs to be this big. You've accidentally added an extra 0 onto the size. But to give you an idea of the sheer ridiculous scale of this monster, you'll see here an Idris. Anyone who's done Xenofret knows how big the Idris is. You feel like an ant when you're in the Idris, and this makes the Idris look small. There's also an Aegis Avenger Titan here as well, but if you look even closer, there's actually a Copion in this image. I'll give you a second to try and spot it. There it is. So well done to anyone who spotted it. So it's big. So for some fun numbers, it's 250 Copions long, 47 Aegis Avenger Titans long, and for our American friends, that's about 3.5 football fields. But lucky for our Copion friends, the Valakar actually comes in different sizes. So you'll be familiar with the variants we've done before with our Quasi-Grazers and our Copions. They're in different biomes and they have different aesthetics. But moving on, we want to also introduce different creature sizes. So these sizes will have unique behaviors, animation, audio, and harvestables associated to each size. So for our first size, we have the juvenile. These juveniles will respond to stimulus, such as noisy footsteps and loud mining beams. This will cause them to burst out the ground and attack anyone who's disturbing them. And you'll find these in caves near valuable harvestables and minerals. So for our next size, adults. The adult Valakars know not to pick fights and tend to remain to themselves. However, if you exterminate too many juvenile Valakars, this will cause adults to show up, which are 3 times larger and a lot more angry. Creature sizes are great because they allow us to create varied experiences as well as show you how creatures grow and evolve in the environments they live in and grow up in. Beyond that, we have our Apex, which has the most valuable harvestables and the most deadly attacks. It's also the biggest living thing in the verse, so far. So, in summary, monster hunting is coming. This is the first in a large series of Apex creatures that you need to gather your crew together to take down this mighty beast. You need a diverse lineup of ships, ground vehicles, loadouts, and skill sets to take out the Apex Valakar. Everyone at CIG is incredibly excited to get the Valakar into your hands, and we hope it shows that we're not only doubling down on creatures, we're also committed to bringing you gameplay experiences that only a game of our scale can provide. But that's all for the Valakar, for this Valakar. Let's take a look at some other fauna. Now, the Valakar is very exciting, but I also want to share with you the bigger picture for creatures. So let's start with some Valakar variants. Variants so far have typically just had alterations to their loot and appearance. However, we want to go further with what variants can be. For example, what if the Valakar evolved and grew in a swamp environment instead of a desert planet? Or if a Valakar never made it to the surface and only lived in drowned caves? These are the kind of questions that make sci-fi one of the best mediums. And I can hear the questions already. What does an adult cave Valakar look like? What does an Apex Quasi-Grazer look like? Well, it's these questions that get everyone excited that works on creatures to give you a glimpse into the big picture. All of these variances and differences and new creatures make up what we call our fauna matrix. The fauna matrix is basically our creature encyclopedia. So these concepts should show you that we want to get more weird and wonderful with our creatures. We've started off with more traditional animal references like dogs and birds and cows. But now we're in a position to create the things that we love about sci-fi, which is the weird and the unknown. So looking at where we're going, all of our creatures have been defined for the road to 1.0. We've ensured we've got a rich, diverse, distinct roster of creatures to make each of our planets feel special. As well, as considering the unique elements of various planets, ensuring that they're populated with appropriate creatures. We've been designing creatures in mind so that planets' ecosystems influence their behaviors, designs, aesthetics, and harvestables. With that being said, I would like to give you a sneak peek at our fauna matrix. That's all from me. I'm very happy to be bringing the Valakar to all of our backers. It's really like nothing else you've played before. I'll leave you with this last video. Enjoy the rest of CitizenCon, everybody.
Yep. Yeah, normally I'm not on this early, Dark-Sided. You know, watching this, I realize we've only seen the Apex, what do you call it? The Apex Valacar? He mentions an Apex Quasi-Grazer, which in my opinion would be the bull of the herd. Yeah. 2 hours, yeah. I've had a couple of visitors so far, so that's pretty good. He mentioned the Apex, what was it? Quasi-Grazer. But also, I would like to see a Apex Copian. You know, like a pack leader of a Copian. Something bigger and tougher. You need to use heavier weapons to kill. Just an opinion. Yeah. I there were a couple of things from the monthly report. I'll get to that in just a moment. There was some interesting stuff. I'm gonna have to take a bathroom break for a split second, Dark Side. I'll be right back. But after this, I'm gonna get right into the monthly report. I was waiting until I had somebody actually talk to, to do the monthly report. But while you're here, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. And yeah, no worries. No worries. There's also this Odin. Odin. Freaking flipping Odin in Squadron 42 newsletter. We're going to go over that and a theory I have as soon as I can. So we're going to go over Jump Point here in just a minute for the PU. I will be back here probably in 5 to 10 minutes, but shouldn't be too long. But I'll be right back, Dark Side. Sorry about that. I'm back. Apologies. All right. We're going to go over the monthly report, some other stuff I've seen and heard, and then we're going to, yeah. Okay. Start with AI content. AI content continued to progress with several ongoing initiatives, including refactoring one of the NPC archetypes to landing zone infrastructure. When complete, it will provide additional character to various landing zones around the verse. AI content is currently working closely with core gameplay to ensure there are contingencies in case the system fails while live. Okay. Development continued on a new set of voice packs to refine what was learned from the dynamic conversations added throughout the year. The team also looked into developing new behavior types and re-examined existing behavior to look for improvements. Finally, they looked into the upcoming environments to make sure they're set up properly for AI populations. Features. The AI features team began the month. Man, I gotta wipe my face off. I'm burning up. By improving NPC weapon overheating, a feature initially developed for Squadron 42. So that's good. Alongside this, a new firing validator was also introduced for charged weapons. The logic for trigger control was reworked, and various issues were fixed. A pre-firing stage was also added for NPCs after using weapons as previously. They would only use charged weapons while in cover. A fix was also submitted to tackle an issue preventing NPCs from shooting after their first trigger pull. Various behavioral combat improvements were made, including the implementation and bug fixing of reactions to spot weakness, weak spot destruction, and distortion damage. Communication channel improvements were then implemented to allow the better coordination of NPC groups with leaders. I've seen a lot of this dark side in the new facilities. A lot of this I've seen. The devs also implemented to automatically calculate when an NPC is alone or not to better filter what they can say and when. I've seen a lot of this play out in the recent, Onyx facilities. And I'm happy for it because it means there's been some serious improvements in AI logic. Yeah. A bug was fixed for NPCs executing auto triggers when dead. This is not yet available in PU builds, but will be integrated soon. AI tech. So they progressed with cross-volume pathfinding. General improvements to ship AI behaviors were made, including when the AI is within a defended area, but the target falls outside of it. In this case, the AI will actively find the position and range to target them. They also polish the punish-idle behavior. Instead of strategically circling the target, the AI will perform more maneuvers, particularly when targeted. In addition, bug fixes were done for NPCs flying in formations and following at distance. For turrets, a vision adapter specialized for unmanned turrets was added. Okay, so they've done some serious improvements. looks like some basic game intelligence development. Animation, though, they're working on improvements to the Copian. Speaking of the Copian, you there, Darkside? We have a new creature on the way, and assets for the upcoming Medgel dispenser made it pass on death reactions to ensure they appear as expected. Facial animation alongside mocap and narration to capture additional context for releases coming soon and into early next year. They also work through previously captured dialogue that will be soon available in game, including for brand new mission givers, more of them, and additional lines for Amelia Boyd. Who is Amelia Boyd? I'm not familiar with that person. Not that I've done every path in game, but yeah. In addition to support the narrative team with SSN News Flash, they'll be visible in-game during timed events. AI characters, they progressed with armor for a new gang, and supported requests for subscriber flare items and CitizenCon Direct. They also continue to work on variants for gameplay rewards and store items. Concept team started the exploration phase for new heavy armor. So we are getting some new heavy armor, just not yet. They're in the exploration phase, meaning they haven't got a finalized version. This is the Paladin, by the way, part of it. Ship art. In the UK, 3 ships progress through August. All 3 are in various stages throughout Greybox. One is approaching its final review. One is receiving improvements to component accessibility. And the other recently entered it following its white box gate review. For announced ships, the Paladin progressed into Lodo stage, having had feedback from the Greybox gate review. The exterior, which was slightly behind the interior, has now caught up, allowing for further refinement between the two. Looks good so far. The Kruger Wolf was released. The Ironclad and Ironclad Assault have progressed through their white box reviews, with the team finalizing the asset kit that will be used across this and other Drake ships, including the Kraken. The Aurora and Hammerhead ticked off to bring them to current standards. The Hull B finally enters pre-production, which is a huge thing, following the improvement of its updated concept. The Apollos continue to prepare for release. And then some of the team have moved on to a related but unannounced ship. Very interesting. So there's a related ship to the Apollo brothers, but we don't know what it is. The RSI Perseus, which this is the Perseus's elevator, prepared for its Lodo gate review, and detail passes being done across both the interior and the exterior. The Drake Kraken's pre-production phase has continued as well. So ships are really full this month. Community. Core game. Oh my God, this is long. Sorry, I'm scrolling to see how long it is. Jesus. Core gameplay. Throughout August, the core gameplay team was heavily involved in Alpha 4.3's release, though they also made significant progress across many large gameplay systems. The team's... Yep, hey, sorry. Hey, I was going to mention the whole B is under construction now. Check it out. The whole B entered pre-production. There's an unrelated ship to the Apollos. There's a related ship to the Apollos beginning its gray box. These two have progressed toward their white box reviews. These are being modernized. The Hammerhead and Aurora. The Paladin has progressed to Lodo, and 3 unannounced ships have progressed through their gray box. So that's quite a bit. I have the Medvac, so I'm kind of curious, what's going to go on with that. Whew. Also, the Perseus has gone through its Lodo Gate review. Yep. So there's a related but unannounced Medevac derivative, I guess. I don't know how I feel about that, but okay. And the whole B is finally entering production. Finally, the whole B. Ooh, hold up. They've continued to work on the freight elevators with further fixes to the issues that put them into an unusable state, as well as improvements to the debug tooling. They're looking into a wide range of other reported issues, such as unreliable medical beacons and physics exploits. Hold on. Improvements to medical ship functionality are in progress, including the addition of MedGel, which will be required to allow respawning. This will further differentiate the utility of various medical vehicles in the game. These improvements also prompted some general improvements to the respawn flow. How is that supposed to work? The devs are working to close out functionality required to support a new creature's unique behaviors and attack patterns. The engineering screen was updated to show the rate of heat change for components and fix various bugs. For item recovery, the team added the ability to disable components for ships that have been claimed. Additionally, items will now display a timer until they become bricked after they've been claimed by the original owner. This will also display to the player as part of a notification when an item is bricked and the player attempts to use it. For crafting, you still there, Dark Side? Here's a big one. Big one. For crafting, the team implemented an offline version of the Blueprint service, which is used as a stand-in to support the player-bound Blueprint library until the actual service starts development. They also finished the first playable prototype of crafting in a multiplayer environment, meaning that this is actively in development right now. Crafting is still very much on the table and very much still being worked on. Control surfaces are being worked on. IFCS saw further work with Maelstrom. Interesting. Now, one thing I'll mention, Dark Side, I noticed from Evocati, I don't know if you're an Evocati or not, but there's been a mentioning of what was I going to say? FPS radar working. They've activated it. So here's it. Radar and scanning. It said something about it down here. Yeah, no worries. They mentioned that FPS radar is in Evo, but being tested still very thoroughly. Turret weapons are now prevented from firing when aimed at the host vehicle. That's kind of realistic because you don't see Sea Wisps firing at their own ships, you know? You don't see Sea Wisps doing that to its own ship. Mm-mm. The inventory rework is progressing as well. Oh, wow. Look at this. Is this the new rework? What the hell? What do you think, Dell? Or Dark? What is all this shit? There's stuff in here I don't recognize. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Look at this. Look. This is crafting materials, dude. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of some sort of crafting material. This has crafting material in the inventory screen. Could this be a hint? That's legit cool. We've heard nothing about crafting, yet here this looks like it is. Very much so. This is a detail I might have missed last time when I was reading this. This looks like copper. Maybe some type of stone? No idea. I'm seeing arrows too. I'm also seeing some armor I don't recognize. So there could be stuff in this picture we don't have. Okay, capacity. So it gives you how much stuff you're carrying. I like this redesign a little bit. Let's focus on this for a minute, Darkseid. I think this is a good refresh. It's not perfect, but it gives you an idea, a physical idea on the fly of how much shit you're carrying. See, the yellow bar is probably the stuff you've highlighted, right? This, and this. Probably. The blue is probably in the back pack, I would assume, or all the personal. Oh yeah, all personal. Okay. So he's got 17.4 micro SCU of 25,000 full. If I'm reading this right up here. The new Babbage number is at 75%. Nobody's this full. I've never had it this full. So what do you think, Darkseid, of this redesign? I think it's ahead of the crafting and base building and engineering work. So there might be some reason for it. There's got to be a reason for this rework like this. Oh, you're getting errors? Why are you getting errors? That's weird. That's weird. I might have to have Hat look at that. Why would you be getting errors? That's odd. Well, judging by the fact we have materials and blocks and materials, it looks like fairly detailed. Maybe Skyrim level, hopefully. I'm hoping. We'll have to see though. Cause like you said, we don't know how in depth it'll be. It may be as shallow as a swimming pool, or it may be as deep as the ocean. Yeah, I am too. It says there's an upcoming event to support, was given additional support to improve existing mission archetypes and better support mission availability scaling. It might be pretty profitable. Listen to this. Last month, the economy team progressed with the new iteration of the economy based on data they recently collected. They're currently looking into changes to the buy and sell of FPS weapons, armor, and consumables. They've also updating profit margins for salvage vehicles, including components, and the effort versus reward algorithm. This is being done as part of an ongoing initiative to ensure crafting is profitable, revitalizing the salvage of vehicle components and prevent exploits. What is going on? It happened again. That's weird. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna reach out to somebody that is really odd. I wonder if it's on Restream. Well, crap. Okay. Yeah, it could be anything. Still, though, the crafting seems to be very interesting. It seems like they're doing a very mixed refactor. Yeah. They're the ASD locations and mission generation system. Narrative. Uh-oh. Hey, Delnorian, look at, or Dark Side, look at this. The team also worked on developing a new hostile faction that'll be making its debut in a later patch, establishing its unique voice and supporting the branding and character art teams. So we'll be having some new bad guys at some point. So yeah. Anyways, we're going to go now. Now that we've already read the monthly report, we're going to read this. This is the what we need to see. Squadron 42. Journey to Odin. Hang on, let me see. What am I doing wrong here? Hold on. I think I maybe pushed the wrong button. All right. All right, let me see here. Now, here we go. I quit that. Okay. So this is Nyx is mentioned, yes. However, we also have this. This is Odin. If you look, they mentioned directly that hold on. Squadron, look at this. Launches 2026. CitizenCon also will be all about Star Citizen. So that's very interesting. CitizenCon this year will all be Star Citizen, not Squadron. So there is that. Now, This is the Odin system that we know. I'm going to zoom in. We're going to start. Oh, shit. We're going to start from the coil and go outward. The Odin system is a planetary system in the United Empire of Earth. It is made of 2 Chthonian planets, 1 gas giant, an unusual cosmic anomaly, and a white dwarf star. The anomaly was created when the first planet in the system was destroyed by its sun, leaving behind a unique asteroid field beset by constant electrical storms. Corporations and research facilities that deal in dangerous material testing conduct tests on Odin 2. So, the coil, Odin 1. If you're looking for Odin 1, you're going to be looking for a long time. All that remains of the first planet is a cosmic phenomena known as the coil, created when the system star collapsed. Odin 1A, also known as Gaini. The former moon has the rare distinction of orbiting Odin's sun and not a planet. Though it still drifts near the ruins of its late parent, Odin 1. Gaini once played host to many fracking and gas refinery plants until tectonic instability forced their relocation. Gaini kind of looks like it's been terraformed a little bit, dare I say. I think they want to be much quieter about Squadron. I think they may actually, I don't know. They may say something at the end of CitizenCon, but I think it'll be primarily, the PU. A lot of people are more interested in the here and now than the future, So that's Gaini and 1.0, 1A. So, where to from now? Going, oh, no. Yeah, I thought they would too, but they didn't. Archon Station is at the coil somewhere. So, jump points in this system. We have Kellogg, Nyx, and Tenga. Could these be future places, Darkseid? Nyx, yes. But what about Tenga and Kellogg? What do we know about Kellogg and Tenga? Well, I, your guide, can tell you about Kellogg and Tenga. I think they're all unclaimed. Are they all unclaimed? Kellogg. Where is Kellogg? It's interesting. It's not mentioned. There's the Krell system, but no Kellogg. Oh, there it is, developing. Kellogg. This is a Fair Chance Act planet. Kellogg 1 is a molten lava planet. Kellogg 2 is Zis, which is home to the Orm, a primitive hominid species that has earned the world protection under Fair Chance Act. Planet's jungles and warm seas have an interesting variety of wildlife. Kellogg 3 is a smog world. 4 is a super Earth. 5 is a rocky gas dwarf. Now, Quarterdeck is a supermax prison. Great stuff. So that's this system. Kellogg and Tanga. Yeah, no worries. Did he ever get up? All right. I need to check on her. I'll be right back. Yeah, only after. Not doing it again. Not your alarm clock. Ugh. Shoot. All right, I'm back. All right, let's finish this up. Tenga is a system that's basically a white dwarf. It's basically another Odin. Falling apart into its star. Yep. So, yeah. Definitely, it's only got 2 planets, but I can see that changing over time. Very, very quickly. It is stinking hot in this room of mine. Dang it. Okay, so it's only got 1 asteroid belt. And 2 planets. So then we have, so it goes to Nyx, Tenga, and Kellogg. So from there we have Fortune's Cross. We've heard of this location. We have Fortune's Cross. Where is this? Looks like close to Odin 4. Yeah, one of the outer planets. Fortune's Cross says, though its glory days are past, Fortune's Cross remains a lifeline for adventure-worn travelers and their ships. Straight off the Kesley Highway. That's funny. It's almost like the Kessel Run. The station has been battered by years of economic decline, yet still serves as a commercial staple of the system and popular transport hub for workers entering and leaving Odin. So, where's Odin 2 talked about? Oh, here it is. Theorized to have existed within the system's green band back when the star was alive and inhabited. Yep, you're back just in time. We're going to talk about the rest of Odin and wrap up. Theorized to have existed within the system's green band back when the star was alive. Odin 2 uninhabitable surface has only a few research facilities. Odin 2's Moonville houses several transfer hubs that make an adequate stop for haulers transporting hazardous materials from the planet. So that's that. The Aceto station is out here too. So we have Ville, Odin 2. So here's the star, Archon station. The coil's here, and Gainy. I bet this is an elliptical orbit. No way, because look at the position. Oh, we're looking at it from above. Okay. Keslia Highway. Is this a belt? Yeah, it's an asteroid belt. The Keslia Belt. See? The Keslia Belt. So this is the name of their asteroid belt, dark side, the Kesley belt. It looks like Odin 3 is just interior to the Kesley belt. Odin 3 offers insights into the history of the system, making it home to several scientific endeavors. Oh, it's a ring giant. Pretty. Odin 4. It's a blue ringed gas giant. I love it. By the way, Fortune's Cross is yeah, Paul can kind of, yeah, he's just, I don't know. I don't argue with him. It's just, everybody's entitled to their opinion, Dark Side. You know that. But some people don't like being wrong. You know? Yeah. Let's put it that way. Some people don't like being wrong. So, Fortune's Cross is one station. Archon's another. Aceto is another. So, yeah. You're all good, man. You're good. So this is Fortune's Cross. I like the shape. Kind of cool station look. All right. So what now? What else are we going to talk about? Before I forget, we're going to double check something. Not what I'm looking for. Okay, system dossier. That's not what I'm looking for. Darn it. Suffice to say, I've heard some interesting rumors. Nyx might be beginning of this year. I don't know in particular, but we'll see. It's the big rumor, but we'll see. It's like, will it or won't it at this point? Hmm. I think we're pretty much in the wait and see what happens time point. Anyways, from what I understand, from what it was saying in the Squadron 42 newsletter, Citizen Con will predominantly be PU material, which I'm okay with. We have not had a persistent universe focused, Citizen Con in a long, long time. I know that sounds harsh. Don't get me wrong, I love Squadron, a Dark Side. But yeah, I think the PU needs some serious work and love and attention. And I think it's good. I think it's good to progress the persistent universe forward, dare I say it. You know, yeah, I don't like shooting other friends. I don't like shooting friends in the back. We'll put it that way, Dark Sided. I prefer to stay on people's good sides. That way I get invited back, even people I don't agree with. So let's, trying to stay milk toast instead of aggro is definitely more profitable for me. You know? Financially speaking. Not to be a douche canoe, but let's be real, right? You're more likely to get your grow your audience if you're a decent non-combative person. I've seen a couple of streamers completely lose the plot. But back to what I was saying about the PU, I think, yeah, Citizen Con needs to be about the PU right now. We're getting so many new players. They need stuff to occupy themselves. So, yeah. It's one of those rare times that I don't really care about Squadron. It'll come when it comes. But yep, never bite the helping hand. Exactly. Exactly. You're absolutely right. All right. One thing I want to run by you, Dell, or Dark Side, is the fact that we're gonna have to use gel or like refill our respawn stuff. One thing I want to run by Udell or Darkside is the fact that we're gonna have to our respawn stuff is no longer unlimited. It's gonna cost you financially. And I'm gonna have to wind down this stream. It's hot in this room. I'm gonna have to. Shit, I've been going for 3 hours. Yeah. 3+ hours, yeah. So hate to do it, Dark Side, but I gotta get off here for a bit. I'll probably be on later tonight. We'll see. But yeah. I don't like it, but it's just too hot in this room right now. Who's online? Yeah, I love it too. Later.